gonna try propping this up here. And today we're going to do a little sketch of an Anna's hummingbird. I'm gonna start out by drying off my brush. I think I've got some white on here. The white's still good. And I think I'll do my sketch in, let's do it in light blue because that'll be fun. Not too exact with my colors when I'm sketching. Let's see, what should our hummingbird be doing? I like, one of the things I really like about Anna's hummingbirds is that they are resident birds and also migratory birds where we're located here. So you'll see them actually try to overwinter, which is always quite impressive, as well as migrate in. And when they first arrive in the winter time, they come before any of the flowers are blooming, and they actually make their way eating insects. And I'm actually not sure if this is true, but I have the idea that maybe they get some sap from trees. Is that possible? I will have to look that up. But at any rate, they are pretty impressive, often portrayed, as like cheerful and delicate little birds, but they're actually quite intense. I'm always impressed with them. And if you watch them, especially competing over a feeder or some highly desirable plant, they are very territorial. And that's going to be this wing here, and then this nice wing here is going to come out in a more sharper angle here. Does that look right? Not quite. You can fix it later. It's like how you can fix things with oil paints. It's not really a problem. Let's figure it out. So we've got the neck coming down here. We're going to have the body. This will be the back here. So that wing's going to be coming out right here. And the feathers will come down like that. And the bird's tail will flare out that way. Oh yeah, that'll look nice. And this wing, so let's see, this is coming to this point here. I kind of want this to be a triangle up like this. Yeah, I think that will look nice. And their little feet will be down here. And I've kind of, is this how I want it to be? I think I'm going to change my mind and reroute the beak. I think I want it to come up, like if the neck's here, I think I want it to come up like this. That'll be more interesting. That line will have to get changed. We'll see. Yeah, I think that looks better. Yeah, I like that more. Okay. Yeah, this is a good example of how I am pretty constantly changing what I want my painting to look like as I'm going. And I think I will put in some flour for, let's do, yeah, that'll be a good spot for it. This will be a red flowering currant, one of my personal favorite flowers native to this area, and one of the first flowers that blooms in the springtime. It's still early February at the moment, so you're not going to see any blooming yet, but they actually have buds. I was just walking outside and I saw some of them. They already are getting ready. So this will be our flower. They have leaves kind of like blackberries, so super light sketch here. That'll go there, that'll go there. This will come up here, so you can see it looks like a blackberry or a raspberry leaf here. We'll come around here, and I think that is nice. I think that's a good start. Okay, so now, for the sake of the video, I think I'm going to rush a little bit of the process and just get right in with making it look a little bit more finished so that you can see where I am going with it. So first I'm just going to scrub some white in. I've got some on my rag that I accidentally dropped over here, so I think I'm going to grab some of that, and I'm going to grab some off of my tube and maybe thin it a bit. And we get started with some of the more, I'm going to erase this. Let's erase this. Don't want to lose my composition, so pull this down. There we go. This is coming around like that. I'll figure that out later. Okay, so what colors do I want in here? I'll often just kind of use the background as a palette, mix in some of the greens that I'm going to be using in the leaves. I think I'll put in some blue and some pink just because those will be the colors in the hummingbird. Thin it out with my walnut oil. And then at this point I usually decide like what color intensity I want with this. This is pretty pale at the moment, and it is a bright little bird, so I think I'll put some lemon yellow up above over here where the sun would be coming through to bring out some brightness, and balance that out over here. That'll look good. Yeah, I like that. This is a good start. Okay. And take a little bit more care and precision and get the background lined up here. So yeah, I want to capture that energy of the hummingbird in early spring. So I'm choosing a bit more vigorous of colors. And also, yeah, I like the intensity of the bird. And I have not planned out what colors I'm going to use here. So basically what I'm doing, I'm just pulling the colors that I took out for my plant, with the idea that the background, since this is in nature, the background is going to be a more kind of obscured reflection of what's in the foreground. And all this can change if we want to. If you'd like, you can always put more attention to the brush strokes. Since I'm thinning this with the oil, my brush strokes aren't really going to be sticking up too much. It's just pretty flat and simple. And make the beak a little better. Yeah, that looks good. Like little jewels. That's interesting. I always find a couple of these that haven't survived the winter out in the yard. I always feel like I should do something with them, but I don't really know what to do with them. They're so pretty. So what I end up doing, instead of anything interesting, just end up collecting them and putting them in, I think I have one right now in like a roasted nuts container and some toilet paper to cushion it. So yeah, I don't really have a good process for finding a spot for them at the moment, but I like the idea of maybe like doing some sort of little display, maybe for inside of a plant or something, because they're so beautiful. Even when they've died, then they're basically just feathers and bones and beak. Yeah, very delicate little creatures. Alright, that's starting to look nice. Let's do the leaves. How about our red flowering currant? It's kind of the wrong color, but it's, again, this stage is really just about establishing where the different features of the painting are going to go. And let's do a stem for this. Maybe that's about where the stem will come out. And then it'll be a little bit of a stick there. I'll put that. I think I want some more brightness into this. All right, that looks pretty good. For where my plant's gonna be, actually I'm gonna change where the stem is. I'm gonna have it come more of a circle, I think. Yeah, that'll look better. You can put this, you can imply that there's more stem back here. So you can see I'm both using the background to wipe off my brush as well as just to establish some more elements of the painting. Put it in, just kind of get rid of this white. This is a good example of, I like to do an underpainting a lot of the time so that I don't have to go through and fill out little corners of white canvas that are sticking up underneath, but I didn't do it at this time, and that is fine. You don't have to do an underpainting if you don't want to. Alright, so that's very loose, and once again I'm going to go through and put more details in later, which I'm not really totally sure how to add into my video, but we will figure it out when the time is right. Let's see, this pretty flower, I want it to be a little bit more pink. Like, it's called a red flowering currant, and the flowers can range in tone, but they are actually a pretty pink color, more so than red. And they're definitely not this magenta color. So let's pull that. All right. Petal. Petal. I want some in here, I think. That looks nice. And I like that color for the neck of the hummingbird as well, so I'm just going to put some in while I have it on my brush. Alright, so let's make the hummingbird more established. And if you're doing something that's just a fast little sketch, you really don't have to worry about bringing the detail in exactly. You can just pull it in. You can see I'm really using a very messy brush here. This is like probably not right at all. okay. I like it. Sometimes it's kind of nice to use a brush that isn't in the best of shape because you have less control and then you don't get as focused on trying to like establish each of the feathers or anything like that because it's actually impossible with the current brush that you're using. So then you just kind of get the shape of the bird more. That looks pretty nice. Alright, so that being said, I am now going to move on to a finer detail brush because I want to get the beak and the eyes pretty tight. I also think I want to get them some brown. I don't want the saturation to get, color saturation to get over the top. It will just end up, instead of looking like vibrant and interesting, it'll just end up looking a little, I don't know, in my opinion, like a little gaudy. Those colors are good for, I don't know, I think about it in terms of temperature, like warmer weather, tropical color schemes and desert color schemes can often hold a lot more color intensity than the ones in more northern areas. I don't really know why that is. I think it's just kind of a reflection of my understanding of what the plants and animals look like in the area. So it would just clash. Alright, here's this. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to do actually with the head shape. So I'll pull some yellow down here and make it a little bit more established. Alright, here's our eye. Paint it as a circle. And then I'm going to go into it. I think I'll have the highlight up on the top corner. So that will look nice and alert for the bird. And then I want to have, I do want to have some feathers established. So I'm going to use my white as the, often they'll have some white feathers right around their eyes. So I'm going to use that. Put in some detail. And I'm going to pull that detail down even into this brighter neck feathers. And I'll come back through in a minute and get those more accurately set on the neck. Alright, that's looking pretty nice. Let's get some yellow. I want to get the body of the bird to be a little bit more accurate, so that would be a little bit more green. A nice olive green. And as I'm looking at this, I think I want to do something where I'm going to pull in the background a little bit more with the wings a bit longer, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to start extending the wings into the background, picking up some of the yellow, which is welcome to be in the painting. Be a little darker. Let's get this. Wasn't too much stuff on my brush. start just kind of softening this because I don't really want the bird to be so so distinct from the background. I want more of a blurry effect, I think. That would look prettier. So I'm losing some of the wings in the background, establishing a bit more of the beak here. I have some leftover blue from when I moved the beak, so I'm just going to kind of brush down here. I think I want to have more highlight, honestly, on the beak here, so I'm going to grab some white. Let's see, this might make it look messy or it might look good, so we'll see what happens. I like it. I think it looks good. I want my brush strokes as I go through here, so it's kind of a balance between making it look loose and making it accidentally a little messy. So I want it to kind of, let's see, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about how the movement of the bird relates to the shape. So like here I'm pulling extra lines out from around the wing, and then I'm pulling some extra yellow through, kind of like to show that upward motion there. These motions I think are incorrect. I should have had them going the other way, so I can do that still. Just kind of pull that through. All right, and you don't want to lose too much. I'm going to switch brushes. Oh yeah, this white line here, which I think is pretty and is showing a nice kind of highlight, was an accident that I am enjoying, and I'm going to keep it there. Put some white up here in the flower, define that. Use some more white in the leaves. Kind of using it to show my lines. I've got some pink still on my brush, but I don't really mind. I think it looks good. What other leaves should I define? Let's make this one look a little brighter. Can you see that still? Yeah. This one I'm going to darken, I think, instead. We'll get some nice blue. It clashes. I'll have to work that through a little bit. That was an idea that I don't really think worked that well. But that is alright. So fortunately, we can just keep painting it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make that into more behind the leaves rather than actually at the leaves. And then it won't look so abrupt. Right, so now this is the leaf now. This leaf. And I liked having that stem. Here's the stem. Let's pull it up here. Pull it in here. And branching out. And yeah, this is just, as you can see, it's very relaxed and not worrying too much. Certainly not botanically accurate painting. I don't know. You know, I can tell that it's a red flowering currant, but I don't know if anyone else can tell. I did tell you at the beginning of this meeting, but of this video, but yeah, who knows. All right. So here we have it. I think it looks pretty. I'm going to look at it more. I'm finding myself thinking that up here is a little distracting, so I'm just wiping the blue and red off my brush, hopefully. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to smooth that out a bit. Yeah, definitely seemed a little distracting. That looks better. I like that more. Yep. And I like the amount of definition that I put on the bird and the looseness in the wings. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, so there you have it. Just a little spring painting. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Have a good day. Bye.